Episode 2: The Power of Risk-Taking and How to Master It. Risk is at the heart of every great achievement. Every business empire, every groundbreaking invention, and every financial success story was built on a series of calculated risks. Yet, for most people, risk is something to be avoided. The fear of failure, loss, or uncertainty holds them back from making bold moves. But here's the truth: risk isn't something to fear, it's something to master. Today, we're going to break down why risk-taking is essential for success, the difference between reckless and calculated risks, how the world's greatest entrepreneurs and investors handle risk, practical strategies to become more comfortable with risk, a step-by-step process to making high-stakes decisions. By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand risk better, but you'll also have the tools to use it as a weapon for growth. Let's dive in. 1. Why risk-taking is essential for success. Everything worthwhile in life requires some level of risk. Think about it: starting a business, risky; investing in the stock market, risky; asking for a promotion, risky; even personal decisions, like moving to a new city or starting a relationship, carry risk. Yet, without risk, there is no progress. One of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett, once said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing." In other words, risk is only dangerous when you don't understand it. But if you learn how to assess and manage risk properly, it becomes one of your greatest advantages. The reality is, most people live their lives in default mode, doing what's safe, what's comfortable, and what they're told they should do. They avoid risk because it feels dangerous. But the real danger is stagnation. Playing it too safe means you never grow. Every successful entrepreneur, investor, or leader has made peace with risk. Instead of fearing it, they study it, control it, and use it to their advantage. Now, let's look at the difference between reckless risk and calculated risk. 2. Reckless vs. calculated risk. Knowing the difference, there's a huge difference between gambling and strategic risk-taking. Reckless risk is jumping into something blindly, without preparation or understanding. It's like quitting your job with no savings, no plan, and just hoping things will work out. Calculated risk is making informed decisions by analyzing the potential rewards, downsides, and probabilities of success. Successful entrepreneurs don't take reckless risks. They take smart, strategic, and well-calculated risks. Take Elon Musk, for example. When he sold PayPal, he made what seemed like an insane decision. He took his entire fortune and reinvested it into 3 high-risk companies: Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity. He even had to borrow money to pay rent. To most people, this seemed reckless. But in reality, Musk had done his homework. He understood the market potential, the science, and the long-term vision. He wasn't just gambling, he was betting on calculated probabilities. The key takeaway: don't avoid risk. Instead, learn how to evaluate it. 3. How the greatest entrepreneurs and investors handle risk. The world's most successful people all have a process for managing risk. Let's examine a few. Jeff Bezos. The regret minimization framework. When Bezos was deciding whether to leave his stable job to start Amazon, he asked himself one simple question: when I'm 80 years old, will I regret not taking this chance? He realized that even if Amazon failed, he would still be glad he took the shot. But if he never tried, he would always wonder, what if? That clarity made his decision easy. This method is incredibly powerful. The next time you're faced with a big decision, ask yourself, will I regret not taking this risk in the future? What's the worst that can happen, and can I recover from it? If the potential upside outweighs the downside, take the risk. Richard Branson, Protect the Downside. Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, has taken massive risks, launching everything from airlines to space travel. But he never bets everything blindly. His rule: always protect the downside. For example, when launching Virgin Atlantic, Branson made a deal with Boeing to return the airplanes if the business failed. This way, he minimized his losses while still taking a big swing. The lesson: before taking a risk, think about how you can limit your losses if things go wrong. 4. How to get more comfortable with risk. If you're someone who naturally avoids risk, don't worry. You can train yourself to become more comfortable with it. Here's how. 1. Start small. You don't need to take massive risks right away. Start by making small, low-stakes decisions outside your comfort zone. Try negotiating a deal. Make a small investment. Launch a side project. The more you take small risks, the more confident you'll become in handling bigger ones. 2. Reframe failure. Most people avoid risk because they fear failure. But failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Every failure is a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. Instead of thinking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What can I learn if this doesn't work out?" 3. Have a plan B. Always have a backup plan. If you're taking a risk, think about what you'll do if things go south. Having a safety net makes risk-taking less stressful. 5. A step-by-step guide to making high-stakes decisions. When you're faced with a big decision, use this 5-step framework to assess the risk. 1. Define the decision clearly. What exactly are you deciding? 2. List the potential outcomes. What are the possible best and worst-case scenarios? 3. Assess the probabilities. How likely are each of these outcomes? 4. Calculate the risk-to-reward ratio. Does the upside outweigh the downside? 5. Make a decision and take action. Don't overthink. Make a move and adjust as you go. Final thoughts. Mastering the art of risk-taking. Risk is unavoidable in life and business. But those who learn to master risk are the ones who succeed. Take calculated risks, not reckless ones. Protect the downside while aiming for high rewards. Use real strategies like the regret minimization framework and small-scale experiments to improve decision-making. Most importantly, don't let fear stop you. The biggest risk is playing it too safe and never reaching your full potential. Thank you for listening to Titan Podcasts. In the next episode, we'll explore the science of building wealth and financial freedom. Until then, be bold, take smart risks, and keep pushing forward.